So, firstly, I'll quickly remind you of the world itself. Back 600 years ago, there was an entity known as the Eclipse, giant eldritch monster that came in and almost wiped out all of civilization with its horrible twisted creatures and blocking out the sun and whatnot. And since then, civilization has been able to regrow back into one city. And so at the start of last session, Solanum had visions of past and future apocalypses, essentially coming up with the idea that maybe another one was on the horizon. But he also found that there might be a way to prevent this next one. He enlisted the help of his granddaughter Ezra. I think granddaughter? Great-granddaughter? I don't know if we established.
Great.
Great. As well as Indra and Eleusis, after seeing them perform a piece reminiscent of the dances done by the ancient elves to try and bring back the sun. Og tags along, refusing to leave Eleusis' side, and why that is we'll discover soon. The group set out from the city in search of the focus of Solanum's vision, Great Glowing Tower, and they found their way to the hands of an ancient statue sitting in the ground and pointing towards the sky. It used to be the site of pilgrimage, but is now a relic of the past. And then they move on again and arrive at the shores of Fogbank Lake, finding themselves in combat with a Horiadax, a giant armored crustacean that almost killed Indra by dragging her and crushing her in the water. Though it did secrete this healing bile that they collected and now have some doses of that can help clear their wounds. And after that, they began to camp, telling stories, relaxing, when, on the last watch, just as dawn was about to break, a strange and horrible sound came over the wind, and a group of fish-like humanoid creatures approached their campsite, short and bluish purple, as they walked towards you. But before we deal with that, we're going to go back sometime, probably a few months. Eleusis, you sit in a cell. It's dark, uncomfortable, and cold. What you're in for, that's up to you. But every 10 minutes or so, guards pass by, watching you, making sure you're not trying to escape or anything like that. The knowledge that whatever happens, you're probably going to die slowly and painfully, gnaws away at you like a weevil as you sit there, just unable to really contemplate anything else. The jail's only other occupant sits in the cell opposite. Andrew, would you like to tell us what he looks like?
Yeah, half orc, kind of grayish green, very tall, probably around 7 feet ish, battle worn, long orky hair. That's about it. That's what he looks like.
What would he be doing as he's sitting there?
Oh, probably if it wasn't taken away from him, probably flipping through his book a little bit. If it was taken away from him, maybe just like fiddling with a knife or a piece of whatever, just being bored.
I think they would have let you keep the book,
Okay.
I don't think, I think they'd take any weapons, but I don't see them trying to take that off you.
Okay.
Size and everything.
Yeah, I'd just be sitting in a corner reading a book.
You're both in the cell for a couple days, and then on the third day, the day before your execution, Eleusis, a jailer walks past, making his rounds. And you see he's like spinning his keys on his finger, throwing them up and catching them. And then, as he does, you see he loses control and they flip off. And they land on the floor and skitter under your cell door. And he looks down, looks at the keys, and then up at you. And you see there's just this like terrified, confused, dreaded look on his face as the keys just slide in and land at your feet, Elysius.
Look down at these keys. Look up at him. Down at the keys. Look up at him. Just smile. Looks like you dropped something, eh? I suppose you should have these back. I'll reach down, hook them under one of these long nails that I have.
Yeah, and he just he sort of takes a step closer and says, "Kick them through. Come on."
Oh, no. What is my friend across the way? What's he in for? Can't be as pathetic as stealing a loaf of bread like myself. I mean, he looks quite rough. Did he kill anybody? You gotta know something, eh?
That's none of your business. Come on. The keys. No. Puts his hand kind of through the bars.
I take a few steps, still without not in reach of him or anything. But
yeah.
No. Keys for a story. You see, I make my living on tales. And, well, I need something new for my books. You tell me tale, you get the keys. Simple.
A tale? No, I'm not playing your games. Come on.
You have little choice. I mean, what is your boss gonna say when he comes in and sees me sitting in your chair and you at the cell?
You see his like jaw clenches, and he like reaches down with his other hand for his sword. And he says, "Keep your voice down. You want a tale? What kind of tale?"
Oh, I don't know. Anything good for the books. I'm sure your grandpappy or that whore of a mother you have, somebody must have told you something good that you can share. I'll take a few steps closer, still without reach, but
yeah,
kind of jingling the keys.
See like an angry red flush kind of come to his cheeks, like kind of beneath like scraggly 5 o'clock shadow, as you like insult his mother just casually. And he says, "Listen, if you don't give me those keys, I'm going to gut you. And then that's the story I'm going to tell." Kind of like takes his sword hand and like puts it through the bar so that he is ready to strike at you if you come close enough.
Man. A simple tale. But I tell you what. I give you a joke. If you think it's funny, then perhaps I'll give you keys. Fair?
Fine.
It's all right then. You, tell me how you make holy water.
Holy water, I don't know.
Well, you boil the hell out of it, of course. And with that, I will cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Does he get a saving throw?
Oh, I don't know. I have to go look it up and see. I'm assuming so.
Wisdom saving throw.
Thank you.
I should get dice. Wisdom saving throw.
What is my thing? 4, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, I believe. So 8, 9, 10, 14 DC.
Okay. You see him begin to chuckle. that's and he just begins laughing more and more and more until he is uncontrollably just like bawling with laughter, tears streaming down his face. What are the effects of that spell?
Victim falls prone, incapacitated.
Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
he just like stumbles back
Yeah.
to Og's cage and then slides to the floor.
He gets a save every 6 seconds of
Okay.
a round.
Woman's concentration for 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Rubbing his eyes and laughing. What do you do?
Take a step forward and slip these keys into my jail cell. Click the lock and slide the door open. Look across the way at Og. You want that to there, big boy?
What?
You want out of there?
Oh, hey, is that okay? Are you sure they'll allow that out there?
Nah, they won't allow it, but you get better food out there instead of that shit they give you. I take you to lunch. What do you say?
Oh,
I know
no.
a place.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'll put down my book.
He'll step over this laughing man and kick the keys to Og underneath his jail cell over to him. To sort of stand off to the side, just watching this man laughing on the ground.
And
As I unlock it, I'll talk. So one of the guards said this was okay.
Oh, yes. See, I'm actually one of the guards, but, we're doing a bit of a, what's they call practice rounds where we got to, interrogate and get people out. So, well, you see, I got you out. Now you just got to put that fellow in there and we can go have lunch. I'll sort of motion this guy on the
this is
ground.
like part of your drills. Got it.
Yes,
I'll
yes.
unlock the door really quick and put him in there.
nice. And he's just like, he's laughing so hard, he's like trying to sort of like grab at you, but his hands just move slowly and sort of like not quite able to get purchased. He's just giggling too much. And you like throw him in and he's like, no, wait, no, come on. But yeah, just like rolling on the floor. You lock the door behind him, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. And then the two of you kind of look up and down. You see there's like a corridor leading to a set of stairs that's up into sort of the guard's break room, and then the door beyond. And you can hear a couple like voices just chatting idly upstairs.
Do I remember how they brought me in here to just sort of head that direction?
Yeah. So it's the way you came in would be basically coming through that room the other direction. You know that the door to the outside is just up those stairs and through that room. So,
Well, my friend, you can call me Ulysses. What's your name?
Og.
Og. Yes, I should have accepted. Well, it's part of the drill, okay? You listen carefully.
Okay.
Got to go up there. They might attack us a little, but if you just knock
What?
them out, and just listen.
Okay.
They got to practice their drills, and they got to pretend like we're real people trying to get out of here, and also just bash heads a little bit. You don't have to kill them, just rough them up a little bit, and they should let us go just fine. But the goal here is to get out as fast as possible. Then
Oh, so this is like military drill.
very, very. Yeah, you got it. You're smart, Og. Very smart.
Okay. Got it. I got this.
so the fellow on the ground still does not recover from his laughing and is just howling. And his throat is going like extremely sore and his cheeks are burning.
I'll peek around the corner in there, maybe seeing it's starting to break the spell a little bit. Like, hey, you know what they call a fake noodle? In pasta.
You see the laughter like completely renewed. He's
You know,
just-
that guard is really into his role.
Yes. And I'm actually very funny too. That's most of it. I'm very funny.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, and so if you sort of like kind of peer up at the top of the stairs, you can see there's maybe 2 or 3 guards sitting just like having a glass of water or beer. One like maybe eating, another one just sitting like cap down over his head, feet up on a table, just having a snooze.
Okay, so we attack them now.
No. Let me see if I can make some of them have what they call dreams first. Then, if anybody rushes us, just give them a crack on the skull. But
Okay.
watch. Dip into his pocket and bring out this gold and glitter in his hand. Hold it up to his face, and a little blows this golden dust across the room. And with that, I'll use sleep.
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
How many hit points can you get?
Let's take a roll and see. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
17 hit points. Morgan?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Let me just. Where is it? Okay. So you can get only one of them, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's fine.
Which one would you like? The eater, the drinker, or the sleeper?
The eater or the drinker? Well, let's go with the drinker.
Okay, so the drinker is just kind of sitting there, sipping his beer, and then sort of like looks up, slightly confused, and then just falls forward, and you see his face just cracks off the side of the glass he's drinking, and his head slams into the table, and the eater like jumps, like stares at him, shakes his head, and then goes back to his food.
All right, Ag, you ready? This is our break for it. You got to hurry as fast as possible, but don't be afraid to crack this guy in the head if you need to.
Okay.
Yeah, with that, I'll stroll into the room and wave at this fellow, and then just make a break for the door.
So like you wave at him, and he sort of like looks up, waves back, and then goes back to his food. And then after like half a second, he looks back up and he's, hey, what are you doing? And like reaches for his sword and is going to rush you, Lucius. The guy who's sleeping like jumps awake and kind of falls off his chair and begins standing up, like scrabbling for his weapon.
Can I get in between Lucius and the guard?
I will say yes.
Cool.
So he's going to attack you instead. That is going to be a 12 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna miss. I'm gonna look at the guard. Oh, you're really into this, huh?
He just like eyes go wide as he sort of like goes to swing for Lucius, and just your body appears in Lucius's place as you step between them, and the blade just goes wide as he kind of jumps back in surprise, eyes wide. What the? The other guard is going to pick himself up and try and stab you in the back, Og. But that is only going to be a 7 to hit.
Nope.
So you just sort of like step aside, and he goes like crashing past and like catches his foot on a chair painfully. It is your guys' go. What would you like to do?
I don't have any weapons, so I'd like to put someone to orc nap time by choking them out if I can. Why
You
not?
can.
That's gonna be I don't know exactly what you want me to roll. I'm guessing like strength.
Yeah, we'll do. You can make a grapple check if you like.
Okay. That
That
is
could
going to be a 18.
You can have your proficiency if you have athletics.
Yeah. 20.
20.
Unnatural.
He crit fails.
Nice.
So you can just like wrap an arm around his neck and kind of get him in like a full Nelson, I imagine. And his just face like slowly goes purple, and then just eyes closed, head down, and you drop him, and he just collapses in a heap on the floor.
I'll put it. I'll tuck his arms in so they're not all splayed out, so he looks all still guard like. There you go, buddy.
Nice. What is Lucius doing?
Ground. This other one that just woke up is getting up, right?
Yeah. So he's just crashed past Og, trying to hit him, but missed.
Okay. You don't have to be so touchy here. Good job, Og. Good job. Now, friend, you let us go, and my friend here, he won't put you to sleep too. Or we could make this difficult, but I tell you what. You let us go, and well, I'll come back and bring you lunch. Eh? What you say?
Make either a persuasion or intimidation check, your choice.
I'll do persuasion. Would be a 21.
Okay.
I bring you back an excellent lunch. I know a place. It's got good beer. A pig roast today, a green salad made by some druid guy. I mean, it's tasty.
He like glances at the other two, frowns, and then just gives you like a small nod and sits back down in his chair and like pulls his hat down as though nothing had happened.
Ah, good, my friend.
What? This is not godlike. What are you doing?
No,
Your
it's
job!
What? I thought you wanted me
You
to.
call you a god? What is this?
I was just. And he like looks at you, Alicia's.
You're not very good at your friend. My friend is, well, apparently he does not think you're very good. Well, if you don't think he's very good, you should probably teach him a lesson then, I guess.
No, that's not.
You have forsaken your brothers in arms! And I will charge him.
All right. What are you doing? Attack? You punching him?
Yeah. I'm going for a fury of just punches to the face.
Nice. All right, go for it.
Oh! A natural 18. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna hit.
That is.
Yeah. No, yeah. Woo! All right. Let's see here. Unarmed damage. That's like a D4, right? And then strength.
So unless you have a thing, it's actually 1.
Oh,
Strength.
all right.
One.
So yeah, 1.
Oh, 1 plus your strength.
Plus your strength.
Oh, 5.
And if you're raging, then your rage bonus.
I did say I was going into a rage, right? All right. So that's like 8 points of damage then.
Okay, so you punch him, and it almost is enough to kill him / knock him out. And you see he just like lands in a heap on the floor, like gasping. You probably like broke his jaw. And he's just like spitting up blood, like oh.
Just remember, this is all a bit of a show. Just practicing here. You don't have to worry. It's okay, let's go get lunch.
Okay. I
Good
think
job.
he's learned.
I think so too. He'll do better next time. I'm sure.
And the guard like spits out some teeth and like begins crying.
Do better next time, friend. You suck. Come, Mark. Let's go get lunch. You like pig?
Oh yes, pig, boar, the occasional kobold. Oh, really good.
Good. I know a place. You know, I knew this fella, just this young lad. I'll just start strolling out the door, assuming nobody stops us.
Yeah, no one else is there.
Walking down the street. Yes, I had a good friend, and well, last time we broke out of here, it went quite well too. But I'll have to tell you that story sometime. It was about a young lad, had a bit of a curly hair, and well, blondish, had a bit of a blonde beard too. But I'll tell you that later. Now we'll take to lunch.
I'll kind of look back towards the jail, look at him. Wait, so a reward for the drill is we just get to go? Wow, they really appreciate people who participate in drills.
Oh, yes, it's part of the town here, it's how they strengthen the defenses and such. They'll have to look over this and read the blueprints and do, all that smart googly stuff and look at the weaknesses and how to fix it. That guard is obviously a bit of a weakness. All of them, really, but we don't need to worry about them. Let's go have lunch and I can meet you. I can introduce you to some of my friends. They're quite wonderful.
All right.
And I think that's an excellent spot to end the montage. Just you guys tricking / beating your way out of the prison. And so we return to the present day. The 5 of you sitting at your campsite in the drizzle, looking ahead at the creatures approaching. I think by the time we ended last session, everyone was awake. So we're just going to say that all of you have woken up. There are 4 creatures that you can see up front. They are very short, 3 feet tall, and have these strange kind of fish frog-like heads. They're mostly purple and blue colored, some variation on each, and are wearing these very basic like sackcloth clothes. They have heads like fish pushed forward on their shoulders. They don't have necks, but these sharp teeth and these big kind of yellowish eyes. The rest of their body is kind of like a frog's, sort of beer-bellied and spindly as they sort of glump towards you. But you see there's another creature behind them, kind of rising out of the water. It is hulking, dwarfing them easily, and dwarfing any of you. This thing's about 8 to 9 feet tall, and moves like a gorilla with 2 gigantic arms in front of it, kind of pulling it forward on smaller legs. It looks like some kind of terrifying toad creature, with these huge, this huge kind of crocodilian jaw, odd teeth kind of poking out, and these bluish purple shoulders, and this kind of or iridescent color that runs down its back. It's got these huge hands with gigantic claws coming out the back of it, and the fish creatures pay it no mind, as though they expect it to be there, and it follows them as though obedient. These creatures approach and then suddenly stop as they notice the 5 of you and your fire crouching beneath this outcrop. And they all sort of turn to each other and begin talking in this garbled, horrible language. Before each of them pulls out these crude weapons and they begin to approach cautiously, like crouching down and sort of scuttling forwards. The gigantic creature behind them kind of takes the lead a little bit as they push it forward. Let's roll initiative.
Okay. Ooh. 24
24.
for Indra Hadari.
Indra.
About how far away are they from us right now?
They're probably about 40, 50 feet away.
Okie dokie.
I think I was on watch when these occurred. Did I wake everybody up? I don't remember. Or
Yeah, so I've just said we can assume everyone's awake at
Okay.
that point.
And did we get enough? I didn't get enough for my rest, right?
I think you did, because this is the last watch that this happened.
Yeah. So we're everyone is considered to have had a long rest.
I go
Okay.
16.
Okay. 16 for. Okay, Indra, you're up first.
Okay, so Indra sees the creatures coming and is going to clap her hands together, and wisps of wind twirl around her forearms and hands and when she spreads them out, a longbow made of air and light appears in her hand, and then she like draws back the bow and takes a shot at the first one.
So the giant creature.
The one in front, is that one of the little dudes?
No,
or is that-
the giant creature's taking the lead.
Yeah. Oh, well then, yes, at the giant creature. That will be only a 13 to hit.
A 13 misses, I'm afraid.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, arrow just bounces off the sort of strange, like rocky protrusions on its shoulder as it kind of ducks to block the attack. Not trying to move out the way, just put its most protective part forward.
Well, that is no good. And I am going to step further back away from them. I know that we've got the outcropping behind us, yeah?
Yeah.
Is there like any kind of protrusions like part of the way up that like she could climb up with her movement to get up a bit?
Yeah, so you could get up kind of on the back of the outcrop. Like it sort of looks like my overlay here. So you could like move back so that you're like sat kind of on top, like higher up, probably 5-10 feet above the ground, if you like. Sure.
I would like that. Yes.
All right. Elucius.
He'd been watching these creatures as they kind of pulled themselves from the water stuff before getting the others around and what's not. And watches them in the distance. He'll pull out his small pipes that he has and give them a soft sort of blow into it. You all see this purplish, iridescent sort of smoke rise out of these pipes. It takes on this smoky visage-like form drifting through. Going to use my minor image cantrip, and then I have the actor feat that I picked up for this 4th level, which allows me to mimic the speech of these things. So I kind of send this out, 30 feet for the distance here, off to the side a little bit. And I want to mimic these things' speech as what I've heard, but in a much more panicked, screeching, painful sort of sound.
Okay, so you're not trying to speak the language, you're just trying to like make it sound like there's another one maybe over there.
Correct.
Okay.
It tells me to do charisma deception versus their wisdom insight. And I got a 23. A 23.
And 23. Well, they physically cannot roll. 23, I believe. Let me just check. Yeah. So even if they crit, they would not be able to make that. So there's this kind of like wailing, screeching sound. And you see they all sort of like suddenly turn to stare in that direction, except the gigantic creature. And you see they all have like a quick discussion. And then one of them peels off and goes off in that direction while the rest advance on you. Is that your turn?
Yep, I don't have anything for my bonus this time, so yep, that's good for now.
You could inspire as a bonus. You don't have to.
I just didn't think anybody really needed it yet, so.
Fair enough. Sol.
So am I, or can I make a roll to see if I'm familiar with either the small creatures or the large creature?
You may make one nature check for both if you like.
Oh boy. Nature. Okay, that is 9. I presume the big one is rarer, so I think he's less likely to know about it.
Okay.
So I would give it to the big one, and then it's a 15 for the small ones.
Okay.
Probably more common.
Yeah, so the big one you've never seen before. They've heard tell of the terrifying creatures that are held in Fogbank Lake, and this must be another one. As for the small ones, you have heard of these before. You know them to be the Kuatoa, creepy fish people who live in the lake and worship a dead, drowned god.
So I already looked up an Elvish name because you said they were Kuatoa last time. So I'm going to put what I think the Elvish name is, which is Kalishtar. Because it's fish in Finnish, apparently.
Very nice.
So, what do I know of the Kotoa? That they are opportunistic? That they
You know, they
scared?
are scavengers. They are opportunistic. You also know they have a fairly terrible fear of fire, but not a fear of like not that they're will avoid it, but more that they believe fire to be sacrilegious and are likely to become violent at the sight of it.
Okay. Are they timid or, fight to the death, or do I know or not know?
You know that normally they're fairly kind of self-preservation focused, though they are fanatical in the following of their drowned god, and
Sure.
said god really doesn't like fire.
I'm presuming there's never really been great diplomacy between them and anything.
No,
Okay.
they are fairly undiplomatic and
D-
relatively stupid. Learning new languages,
Okay.
communication is not something that they would be good at.
Just going to ask two more things. Do they look hungry / desperate? And do they look like they... Because you said this big thing is leading. Do they look confident because the big thing is here?
Good questions. Firstly, they do not look particularly hungry, though you'd know they never pass up a meal. And the big thing is sort of like...
It's like a rocky gorilla type thing ish.
It is
aquatic.
A toad gorilla rock monster.
Thing. Cool.
And you think that it's sort of like the relationship the goblins have with the troll
Yes.
in Moria, where they control it and
Vaguely.
use it basically, they aim it and sort of use it like a tiger tank.
The three remaining Koatoa, are they relatively close to each other or not? Are they within...
sort of banding up behind the creature.
Okay. Are they all within sort of a 10-foot diameter, or two of them?
Yeah, they're all in a 10-foot diameter. Like they'd be as close to this as they could be.
Right. I am going to try drop a moonbeam, mostly on top of the Koatoa. If it has a 5-foot radius, so 10-foot diameter. If I can get the big creature as well, great. If not,
Yes,
I'm going
you
to try and get rid. Okay. So I'm going to stand up in front of the fire for a second, stretch out my one arm with the staff.
Yeah.
And basically, I will. I imagine there's a little bit of grandeur, Gandalf style thing to this, but it's like, "Begone, lest the stars smite you." And there'll be like a moment where he stands there to see if they have any reaction. I presume they don't. And then this 40-foot cylinder of light, of moonlight, is going to bathe them all, and they will burn in ghostly flames.
I am kind of picturing this as like, remember the ghost oak, your
Constellation.
Constellation, thank you. The sort of nebula that made up its leaves once upon a time. Imagine the light is sort of like that, invoking this sort of nebulous cloud.
Can be a column of silvery green or something.
Love it.
So con saves for everybody.
Probably super good at con saves. Okay,
I'm sure the big guy is fine, but
that's a 6, a 3, a 9 for the Kuatoa. And for the big guy, okay, he does have a hell of a bonus. 13.
Oh, that might not be enough. That is not enough. My spell save is DC is 14.
Damn.
In fact, that should be 15 because I actually got to 20.
Did you roll for all of the Krotor or just 3 of them?
There are
There
only-
are only 3.
I thought there were 5.
There's
There
4
were 4,
Kuatoa.
and a Lucius distracted
Oh,
one.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Lucius distracted one, yeah.
Yum, yum, yum.
Okay, so 2d10 radiant. Oh boy, 16.
Okay.
Half as much on a successful, but none of them succeeded. If they're a shape changer, they make a saving throw at disadvantage and instantly revert to their original form.
Oh, damn.
And I can use an action to move it every turn.
Okay, so you see the 3 Kuatoa are almost dead. They shriek and kind of run about in like a strange, crazed circle, crying out and gasping. On their turn, 2 of them are going to just run as fast as they can towards you.
I'm going to attempt to back off a little bit with the rest of my movement, but as probably as they run in the narrative of this battle, he tries to like scrabble back a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, they're going to run forward. One of them is going to come as close as he can and then throw this big net made of kelp.
Nice.
And that is going to aim for the caster, Mr. Sol. And that's not a bad roll. 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, you are considered restrained, and you can make a very easy strength check
Okay.
to try and free yourself.
So I figure I got like 15 feet back from the fire or something. This net just wrapped around me from behind.
Yeah, so it's weak, but it's kind of like a Chinese finger trap where it sort of is very sticky, so that when it kind of touches itself, it just seals, and it's like wet and gooey as it wraps around you. As for the other 2, Kuatoa, the other 2 are gonna. One is gonna throw another net at Og for another 17 to hit.
Yeah, that's
Okay, you are also restrained, and the other is going to throw a spear at Og for a 21 to hit.
yeah.
So you are going to take max damage, 7 piercing, as this this bone spear that's essentially made of like the kind of front of like a swordfish, like some kind of heinous spike from a fish, just kind of pierces into your shoulder. It's less that it goes in deep and more that the wound it creates is extremely ragged and rotting and smelling of fish, and it just cuts you more than you were expecting. As for the gigantic creature, I say gigantic, it's large. It is going to bound towards you. And you see it's already looking like it's shrugging off the effects of the moonbeam. Like it is sort of scarring over with this like pinkish flesh over the burned sections.
Even from the radiant damage. That is,
yeah.
Because it is made of radiant.
Yeah,
Okay.
it also should have had advantage on the save, but that's on me.
Okay.
And it is going to just come in like this crazed, wild berserker, and is going to make an attack against the main people it can see, which are going to be Og, Ezra, and probably not Sol because you moved back. So we'll say Og, Ezra, and Lucius. Okay. So Og. It's going to crit against Og.
Oh,
Well, nice having you, Andrew. See you in the next game.
And just sinks its teeth into your neck for... Oh, okay, those are good rolls as well. 27 piercing damage as it just rips into you. However, I will say this: the net has hit points and an AC, and to bite you, it would have to bite the net. So I'm going to say that it also rips through the net as it does this, much to the chagrin of one of the little Kuatoa. Then the other two attacks. First, Lucius. That is going to be a 16 to hit you. You're muted, Morgan.
Yes, that is it. Sorry.
Okay, you're going to take 15 slashing damage.
All right.
And I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
Constitution 16, 18.
18. Okay, that is a success. You feel this strange kind of energy come off its claws, almost like sort of pathogenic horror that kind of fills you for a moment.
Okay.
As for Ezra,
Actually, can I do something real quick?
oh yeah,
I have a reaction. So this thing hits. Be like, you goddamn sea slug. I'm gonna use my hellish rebuke. It needs a dex save
nice.
for half damage, fire damage.
Okay, it does have advantage on this. That's 2 terrible rolls. The highest was a 13.
What's my thing? 4, 10, 15. So 15 is my DC. So 16, 9, so yeah, 16 damage.
16
Fire.
damage.
Can I? You hellish rebuke. Did you roll 2 dice?
Yes, 2d10.
Now, if you read the hellish rebuke thing from the tiefling thing, does it say cast at level 2 rather than level 1? Because hellish rebuke is 2 damage dice at level 1, but 3 damage dice at level 2, and I think loads of people miss that.
Oh shit! Yes, it is. I just saw the hellish rebuke that I put in.
Yes,
Cool.
because everyone rolls it as a base level 1 spell when actually the tiefling thing gives you it at level 2.
Awesome. So I got another 9, so that'd be 25 then, Rob.
25.
In there. Thank you, Dan.
Not a problem. Everyone misses that all of the time. So
That's a level.
not a
3.
big issue.
Because it seems like it should be a second level spell. Because
Yeah.
it's cool.
All right, cool. Fixed.
Well, damn. Rules legal team.
Woo.
Coming in clutch. Yeah. So yeah, you just see this thing like burn up in flame, and these fresh burns come all across its body. Ezra, 22 to hit you.
That's a hit.
Hell yeah, it is. For 9 points of slashing damage and a Constitution saving throw, please.
That is an 18.
18 is a success. So again, you feel that same kind of horrifying energy come over you. But you're able to shrug it off, and it is now your turn.
Excuse me. I'm going to take a slash at it.
Okay.
For a 23 to hit.
23 does hit.
For 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage.
Damage.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Nope, that's all.
All right. And so it is now Og's turn.
I have a quick question as we are watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Did Ezra's weapon seem to work as well as the magic stuff did?
It does.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, I'm not ensnared by this net anymore, right?
You're not, but you've taken a hell of a beating.
Yes. I'm gonna try to fight back, go into a rage finally, and slice the dude that threw that net on me.
Okay. Absolutely. He's just this little, very damaged-looking nerd.
And I'm gonna miss with a 2 on the dice. Oof.
Bad luck.
Mhm.
So he just, you kind of go to swing, and it just lets out this comical screech and ducks and can go really small because these things are only 3 feet tall, and you just swipe over its head, kind of misjudge the height. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Indra, back to the top.
Okay, how far away is Indra from the big beastie?
From the big one, probably only 15, 20 feet.
Uh,
That's the
and
crow.
how is everyone else arranged? Is it just kind of the
So
anywhere?
this thing was
Everywhere?
right in the middle. You're furthest back up on top. Sol is kind of back under the outcropping, and the rest of them are sort of up front. The giant creature is currently standing in front of Ezra, just trading blows with her. And these 2 little Kuatoa are kind of standing next to it in front of Og, like running around, kind of their feet making these squelchy noises as they sort of dance around trying to dodge his strikes, while the other one is poking the big creature in the shins, trying to get it to attack again. And you see the other Kuatoa in the distance has its net slung over its shoulder, its spear raised, and is currently charging towards you all from about 100 feet away. And its feet are getting stuck in the mud, so it's having to like lift them up to its shoulders as it runs, and kind of stumbling and falling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Indra is going to cast mirror image on herself.
Okay.
And so these 3 other duplicates appear along like the little like edge of the outcrop alongside her, and then she is going to kind of run in to like the center of where all of that big mass of Kratoa and like this big creature's at.
The melee.
Yeah, the big melee. And like the longbow kind of floats behind her, and like it's been like strung across her back, but there's no string to like hold it there, but she's like still like running into all of it. Is a mirror image is her action.
All right. Elucius.
Soul's still in the net, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a little way from the combat, but not too far.
All right, and I'm right there with that thingy, unfortunately. So I'm going to use disengage. As you see, Lucius quickly starts backpedaling, kind of shoving these pipes into his belt and trying to get to his gentbar or his bow, as he considers it. So disengage, and then take my movement to get out of that thing. And for my bonus action, like, Sol, that's 1 arm, 2 arm, it doesn't really matter. Hurry up and get out of that thing so we can end these things chatter. And I'll give him one of my inspiration die.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Speak of the devil. It is your turn.
It is. That was very generous, but I'm going to ask the question. If I like roll over, can I still move the moonbeam without getting out of the net? Because it just restricts my movement.
Does the spell require somatic components?
I mean, it's already been cast. I'm concentrating on it. It does require semantic components.
Oh, go on. I'll be generous. Why not?
I mean, it takes my. The thing is, it takes my action to move it, and if I took my action to break out, then I wouldn't be able to move it. But
well, let me have a look.
I think once you're concentrating on a spell, you don't need to keep waving your arms, but it could be.
Yeah, so it's your action to free yourself. So
yes.
You can't free yourself and
But no, exactly. But
he's choosing to move it instead of getting free is what he's trying to say.
So yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So he with great effort, like manages to like roll over to see Lucius like running up. I imagine you're running sort of back from the combat, and it's like, I'll get free in a. Oh, and he's like struggling against it, and you get like half a sentence. But he sort of like manages to get over and maybe like props himself up just a little bit, or maybe he's like lying on his side and is just like watching the combat, and this sort of gently drifting is giving off like dim light in the darkness or in the dawn or something. I will move it up to place it ideally where it does not hit as many of my allies as possible, but still hits the enemy.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to get all of them now without
Okay.
hitting your allies. So you could get either the big creature and one of the Slad or of the Kuatoa, or the big creature and two of the Kuatoa. So easy choice.
If I do big creature in 2, then I
Yeah.
wouldn't hit any friends.
You would not.
Okay, I will do
Or
that.
you could get them all for hitting your friends as well. Just
Probably not.
okay.
I mean, normally I would say like the barbarian would be fine, but he just took a ridiculous hit that would have basically killed me. So I will just hit the 2 Kuatoa and the big guy.
Yeah.
And I will be making an effort to get out, but it's going to take him a long time to get out. But
do they get another save?
Yep, another save. So technically, this is happening at the start of their turn, not on my turn. But it may be just easier for you to remember if we.
I mean, they're straight after you. So.
Did you know? Okay, fair enough. 13 damage this time.
And what's the save?
It's con 15.
Okay, that's 1 Kuatoa fail, 2 Kuatoa fail, and fail for the big guy as well. 13 damage, you said?
13. Radiant.
Okay. You see the 2 Kuatoa standing there, the beam comes down, and then they're not standing there anymore. And in fact, nothing is. Except small piles of fishy ashes. The remaining Kuatoa who's close enough, who threw his net on you, is going to try and throw a spear at Lucius.
Did the big guy pass?
No, he failed. He took the damage.
Oh, he took the damage. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Lucius, does a 15 hit you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. You will take 5 points of piercing damage as the spear just sails over. And then the Kuatoa quickly realizes that it is now weaponless, and starts backing away and climbing up onto the back of the big monster. As for the said big monster, you see his wounds begin to scar over again. And then it is going to make its attacks. The first will be on Ezra. The second will be on Og. And the third will be on Indra. So Ezra, 27 hit.
Yes.
Okay, so it bites you for 9 points of piercing damage. Og, does a 12 hit you?
No.
And it has to roll a d4 to hit you first?
Nope, it just rolls and then I tell you if it hits me or not.
Oh, okay. Well, it probably didn't. It got an 11.
Yeah, it's one of like the Indra form just like backs out of the way laughing. Yeah, it misses.
And it just howls in rage. And that is its turn. Ezra.
I will just mention, if they start again in this area, they will get hurt again. They might be smart enough to know not to be in the light if the Kuatoa.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. It is gonna, yeah. So the creature is gonna back away out of this thing. But Indra, Og, and Ezra
Attacks of opportunity.
Yeah, it's its choice. But I just thought it might be smart enough to know that it hurts.
I mean, it doesn't need to be that smart to be like,
sure, ow,
light hurt bad.
Yeah,
that's a natural one.
Is going
Oh
to.
my gosh! Yeah, I missed 2.
Indra is going to go as she realizes she's got like a bow and not a melee weapon, and goes, "Oh no, I missed," because I'm still assuming that a 13 misses.
It does.
Yeah.
So the thing just like turns its rocky back to you and kind of lumbers off a little bit out of the light, and you'll just look a little pathetic.
Thanks.
Ezra.
Press the attack.
All right.
An 18
Hit.
for 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on your turn?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Og. Come on, buddy.
All right, let's see if I can do this. Still attacking the same one if I can. Oh, hey! Cool. 21.
Hits.
Awesome.
So the one you were attacking died, so the only thing really close enough would be the big creature.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No worries.
Attack him. I'm gonna rage.
You rage.
You already were.
Wait a minute. When did I said I was raging?
The last turn.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah,
Man,
you did, dude.
something's starting to kick in. All right. That's gonna be 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage.
Yes.
All right. So you guys finally start getting hits in on this thing. Indra.
Indra, after whiffing with her fist, is going to say, "I know something that will work a little better," and she's going to charge after the beast. And as she does, a sword made of shadow appears in her hand, and she's gonna come down with a big swing and probably hit with a 27.
That is actually going to hit.
Yeah. So that's going to be 2d8 psychic. So 12 points of damage.
12 points.
Woo! Big hit.
Yeah. As she's like standing, like her and her 3 duplicates are standing there going, "Woo, such a big guy now, yeah?"
She's so anime. I just imagine her there, like, doing the little peace sign thing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's day. Kawaii.
Lucius.
Just pulls around this fancy musical one-barred stringed instrument and sort of kicks it in half for his bow. We'll take a shot at the big fella. 14 total, though.
To hit, that is
Yes.
a miss, I'm afraid.
So I thought. So he goes like, son of a beat. Yeah, that's it for now.
All right. Sol.
All the Koto are dead.
There is 2 dead. One is currently riding the big creature's back, and the other one is approaching, but is only 70 feet away.
Right. With everyone like forming an attacking line now, I'm guessing I might not have such a good, eye line, being on the ground or something.
I mean, you weren't knocked prone by the thing, but that's.
Oh, he's got like 5 strength. I effectively thought he'd be knocked over if anything through at him, to be honest. So I think this time I will try and get out of the net rather than move the thing, because I think it makes some sense. Because technically the light thing should hurt everybody, and he doesn't want to, just frantically move these things around. Holy shit. Okay, that was a 19 on the die. I was going to use the inspiration, so I will use that anyway. I got a 1. So that counteracted my -1 for athletics. So I rolled a 19.
Well, the DC was 10, so you are able to shed this poorly made seaweed net.
Yeah, so I think like he gets his stuff. Sorry.
He's just like Mr. Burns. Like, toothpaste on his toothbrush just knocks him over. Sorry.
I imagine he gets like his staff wedged in between two
Yeah.
of the kelpie bits and like splits it, and it comes away, and he gets to his feet and gives Lucius a nod. And then I'll use the rest of my hobbly movement to maybe move to a slightly more flanking position, but still
Okay, sure. Yeah,
sort of a southeast or
yeah
something.
definitely. Like, this thing isn't going to be trying to hit you.
No, I know.
So you can get to a good spot, yeah. It is going to try and hit Indra twice, because there's 4 though one rogue attack will go for Ezra. So we'll do Ezra first. That is going to be a 17 to hit.
That's a miss.
Okay, so it tries to snatch at you with its claws but misses. The other two, or its teeth even, a 19 and an 18.
What is it hitting her with? Claws?
Claws.
Okay, so like the big gorilla fists like pound down on an Ezra, and it just goes poof into air, and then the other one swings around and goes poof into air.
Nice.
Two of her duplicates are down.
Is that all 3 now?
I have one left.
Okay.
It missed entirely the first time.
Oh, okay.
The other, the final remaining Kuotoa turns around and sees the shimmer of the fire from your camp reflecting on the armor of Ezra, and is going to leap from the back of the creature onto Ezra and try and bite her face.
Fantastic.
But it's going to critically fail, and so Ezra sidesteps, and there is a wet slap as this thing lands face down in the dirt beside her. The other creature moves 60 feet closer, so it is now finally within range, but that was a dash, so yes, there you go. Ezra, it is your turn.
All right. So I have creature in front of me and then little guy near me.
Little guy next to you, creature in front of you. There's also kind of coming up the other side of the big creature is another Kuotoa.
I'm going to take a swing at the little guy for having the audacity to try to bite my face.
Very good.
That is a 24 to hit.
24 hits.
Yep.
This thing has 2 hit points left, so I imagine you just sort of bend over and push your sword into its back.
Yep. Because that would have, yeah, that's like 8 points of damage.
Yeah. Og.
All right. Gonna run up and attack big guy. That's going to be a 13 to hit.
A 13 doesn't hit.
Womp.
So your axe, sword, hammer.
I have a sword.
So your sword just like bashes off one of the rocky protrusions on its back. Kind of like jars your elbow a little bit. Back to the top. It is Indra.
Indra, the two like remaining Indras are going to tug down one eyelid and go "Bida" at the creature because Janice said she's anime, so she's gonna anime raspberry at it, and is gonna get a natural 20 on the sword. So that is gonna be 10, 15 points of psychic damage.
Nice.
And that is her go.
Okay, this thing isn't looking good. Lucius.
He looks at this creature speared on the ground from Ezra and peeks around this slimy sea troll thing at this one coming up, and then at this larger one. Yeah, well, might as well. He'll draw back his bow, towards this other Kuatoa in the back that's coming up behind everybody. The distance got an 18 to hit.
Hits.
All right, 4 damage with my bow, and then it's going to be another 10 psychic damage. I'm going to use my psychic blade ability.
Okay. You just shoot this thing and it just like takes the blow right to the chest and falls on its back. It is stirring and getting up, but there's like a big hole and kind of bits of these green innards are kind of spilling out as it gets up.
That's it.
Okay. The remaining Kuatoa is going to fling his net.
That's the one that just got a shot, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It is going to fling his net at Ezra for a fucking crit. It doesn't do any damage, but you are definitely restrained as it just whips this thing with a practiced hand and it just wraps around you. Green, disgusting seaweed. The big monster is going to turn and in its fury that it can't hit Indra, is going to aim all 3 attacks at her.
Roger.
The first is an 18 with the bite. Then a
That's
natural 1 and a natural 2. God damn it.
okay. The big old bite, it comes down on like the Indra, and she's like, and then like just in his face, it like vanishes into smoke.
It roars again and beats its fists on the ground. So it just can't seem to hit you. And that's the monster's go. So Ezra.
Did you skip me?
I did. I apologize.
I was just going to move the thing on it
Okay.
so it gets burned to dead so it could make a save.
Sure.
Con DC 15.
All right. I will do it for the Kuatoa as well, so Ezra may not be restrained.
Is it anywhere near the beast, or did it?
Yeah, it's like right up next to it.
Okay.
The Kuatoa does fail. So
Okay.
Indra, retract everything I said about disgusting
Ezra.
Ezra.
Yeah.
Oh, Indra, sorry. Okay. And that is going to be a 15.
We did it on purpose.
The big
Indra Ezra.
Sure.
The big
15 passes.
Go along with it.
Okay.
So you take half of 10 for 5 damage. A light crisping.
Yeah. And you see, like, every turn, this thing is just getting, like, slightly regaining some strength.
Oh.
Now it is Ezra's go.
And I'm not restrained by a
Why not?
tiny net.
I saved you from your netty fate.
Sweet.
As there is now 1 extra roasted and dead Kuatoa.
That's a 14.
That's a miss.
Sadness.
I know.
Sadness indeed. Ogibash.
All right, let's see if I can do this time.
Come on, Og.
You can do it. You can do it.
Oh man, nat
Stop
one.
liaming around and play the game.
I got a nat 1.
You need to change your
Cold,
dice,
man.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. His dice were not meant for playing.
Yeah.
They're only meant for DMing.
And so your sword just misses again as the light from the moonbeam just sort of blinds you momentarily. Indra.
Indra is going to can I do that? I think I can. So I'm going to cast Booming Blade with my
Hell yeah.
combine it with the Shadow Sword and going to get an 18 on the dice, so 26 to hit.
It's
And that will be 9 points of psychic damage. And when it moves out of Solanum's moonbeam, it is going to take an additional damage.
okay. Eleusius.
He watches his good friend Og not doing so well. Perhaps he should help. But alas, I rolled a 3, so I'll drop back and seeing Og must be like, son, and just watch my arrow fly away. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
My wonderful 3.
Indeed. So, with that, it is Sol's turn.
So it's not gone anywhere. It's still under the moonbeam. I could use my action to do something else, but you said it's looking pretty rough.
It is looking pretty rough.
I suppose I could throw a frostbite on it, in addition to it being moonbeamed this turn. 1 second. Frostbite. Target I can see. Con save. Excellent. I'm really kitted out to kill big monsters with all these con saves.
Yeah. Okay, that's an 8 or a natural 19, so 23.
Fuck! It takes nothing. Neither does it have disadvantage on its next weapon attack.
It looks to actually slightly enjoy the cold air that blasts over it.
Should have known. I think he's still next to Lucius, and he's like, this creature I have never seen before in all of my ages. It is new to this world. Learned it enjoys the cold. As he like sort of snaps his hand closed, and like a little showering of like icicles and frost like falls from his hand as it does on the creature ineffectively.
I like it. And so on its turn, it just finally
It takes moonbeam.
takes Moonbeam.
Take that moonbeam. Do
Take
that
that
con
moonbeam.
save.
Natural 13, natural 18, so 22 for the con save.
Does it move?
No.
It didn't move. It's just tanking it.
Yeah.
That's 13 halved, so 6.
I was asking for my booming blades.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has finally got one target for Indra and really wants to smash her with fists. Not that that's better, but
Sure.
13 to hit,
Misses.
12 to hit,
Misses.
fucking 12 to hit.
As Indra just sort of dances
Yeah.
around each of the fists.
Its eyes go wide, realizing it must be fighting some kind of crazy ghost, and so it's going to turn and try and run away.
Booming blade and
Booming
attack
blade.
of opportunity. Booming blade is a 7. And its attack of opportunity is a 24.
Hits.
So that is an additional 12 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
So 19 all up on that round.
Nice. Og and Ezra also have opportunity attacks.
I got in 16 on my opportunity attack.
That does hit.
And that is 9 points of damage.
And Og?
Kill it, dog. Kill it, dog.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, what the fuck, man?
Oh, no.
I miss again.
What did you roll?
A 4 on the die.
Its AC isn't even that high.
So, I mean, that'd be like a 10 from raging.
That does not hit, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you roll?
I rolled a 4 on the dice.
So 6 plus your strength.
No, I did my strength and my rage in that still. Yeah.
And proficiency.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Well, proficiency
Okay.
doesn't help you. Rage doesn't help you hit. Proficiency helps you hit, but it should be the same bonus at this level.
Yeah, rage does
Yeah.
extra damage, actually. You're right.
If you, so you're. Have you got
That's right. So
got
still
strength?
proficiency.
or 18 strength?
18.
So that's plus
Um,
4, which would be plus 7 overall. Is
Did
that
you-
what's your proficiency?
No, proficiency is 2 right now.
Okay, so it's 6. Okay.
So it should be
Yeah.
plus 6. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you got it right.
All right.
Okay,
You're
okay.
confusing me.
I'm sorry. I'm
Did
sorry.
you level up your? What did you level up at level 4? Andrew, have interest.
What? I know that we're level 4 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I
So what-
saw in the group chat before I joined.
Yeah, but
So
you
did
get
you
ability
stat
score
bonus?
improvement at level 4.
What did you level up at level 4?
Strength, because I'm 18 strength.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you weren't 18 anyway. Okay, fair enough.
Just
You're
try to
good.
help you out, buddies.
Yeah. No, I miss.
I think the most help is burning those dice and getting more dice. But
I can send you some dice if you need some. Tell me your
I've had
favorite
these
color.
dice for like 3 years though. I've only
Tell me your
used them
favorite color, and I will send you some dice.
sure.
for-
No, for real. Like, what's your favorite color? And give me your address. So I'm going to send you dice.
Green.
Okay.
Baby poop brown.
Mm-mm-mm.
My address
Take
is
it.
123 Fake Street. Fuck this town.
I've never rolled so bad so many times in a row ever.
I feel bad for Liam now.
I really do. Like I understand what he goes through. Holy crap.
He rolls so
Man.
badly that it becomes a plot point of his character.
Like I feel defeated right now. Oh,
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Right, Indra,
Yes?
it's your turn.
Is it?
It is.
That was attack of opportunity.
Oh, of course.
It
Then
is actually Ezra's.
My bad.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Press the attack. Probably not with a 12.
No, that misses. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Fantastic. Og. Come on, buddy.
We're
Got this.
rooting for you.
all right. Come on, Dice. You got this. Ah! That
So
doesn't
bad.
count.
So bad they're committing suicide.
13.
Oh.
Oh.
13 total.
Yeah.
Misses, I'm afraid.
I mean, it's like,
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
I'm just like whiffing.
Yeah.
Trying to swing at him. Can't quite get
Og's like dug himself a hole in the ground in front of him from all the misses.
Og's favorite monster is the Whiffin.
Meow, meow, meow.
Indra.
Okay, it is now my go. I am going to run up to it and stab it in the butt. That is going to be a 24 to hit.
That does hit.
It's like, why are you running away? We still want to play with you. That is 6 psychic damage.
All right. Is that your turn?
Yes.
This thing is absolutely
do
on
I-
the road.
Do I have the more movement to climb up it, or
Yeah, like, well,
To
it would have
run it?
moved 30 feet away, so
oh, it would have?
yeah.
Okay.
Like
I
it's
can't.
it's fleeing.
Can I do
Um,
it? Can I, whenever I like came down with my sword, could I have been jumping to try and get on its back?
You can, but in flavor only.
I cannot, but I can jump from where I am. I can go swish and then jump.
I mean, you didn't use your movement or your action to do it, so unless you've got some bonus action hops, I'm afraid that's not possible at this
I
juncture.
mean, I have movement.
Doesn't matter if you say it in like a cute, happy voice. See,
Are you sure? Because I could hear
I
you.
feel like it's working.
I can feel it working.
Aloysius,
It's fleeing.
it is.
Is it within 60 feet?
It is.
I like look over at Sal as he mentioned this thing seems to enjoy the cold. Perhaps it is, but it's so stupid a mind flayer wouldn't eat it. I will do a vicious mockery. Do needs a wisdom save, DC 15.
Oh, that fails. 12.
3 points of damage, and probably won't matter, but it has disadvantage on its next attack.
That probably won't matter, to be honest, but nice. It's interesting getting a face punched in. Tell you that. Sol.
The Wrath of the Stars shifts across the dawn sky and the grass, thick with dew, and it will navigate around Indra and then place itself upon the creature, illuminating it for all to see. And then on its turn, it'll have to make a save.
It is its turn. It will make a
Yes.
save.
Oh, I forgot the blooming blade again. I am so silly.
You did. Oh.
That is going to be an 18 save.
What that is a huge save. It does 14 damage, half to 17. Sorry, 7? Half
Your
to
maths
7
is,
damage.
I
Yeah,
like
the
the
math.
what's the booming blade?
Good maths.
I forgot to do my booming
Yeah,
blade,
what is
so no, but I did not do it.
Oh, you didn't cast it again. That's
No,
what
I
you mean.
didn't. I did not cast it. Yes.
Yeah.
Bad luck, because you probably would have killed.
Okay. Yeah. So that moonbeam, it can move 60 feet in an action. So I presume it can catch it up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to nod to Lucius and start moving forward. I'm just moving forward slowly, keeping at a distance from the creature, but making sure that it's still kind of in range.
So this thing screams in agony, and you see, like, in its eyes, something's broken. It's no longer going to run. It's just going to try and break whatever it can see, which happens to be Indra. So, fucking kidding me. Okay. The
I
bite.
mean, you can try.
The bite is a 15.
That will miss.
The claw number 1 is a 20 total,
That will hit.
and the claw number 2 is a 27 total.
That will hit.
So, claw number 1, a 13 slashing damage,
Ow!
and 12 slashing damage.
Did you do its disadvantage?
No, the first one should have been at disadvantage.
Okay, okay.
It missed anyway, right?
Yeah, it missed
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay.
And I need 2 Constitution saving throws, please.
Oh no.
2 Constitution saving throws. I am not terrible at those. But I am today. That will be a 13 and a 4.
Okay, so only the first one matters. So you are infected with a disease. While infected, you can't regain hit points. Your hit point maximum is reduced by 3d6 every 24 hours. And if the disease reduces your maximum hit points to 0, you're going to turn into one of these creatures. So, you want to get that looked at.
I do not feel very good.
Ezra.
All right. I'm going to sword it. For 21.
21 hits.
9 points of damage.
Describe how you kill this creature.
So I walk up, and you said it kind of like craggy kind of protrusions on its back.
It's got like these weird rocky bits. Yeah.
So I take a good slice and just kind of like hack one of them off and just drive my sword into it and give it like a little twist.
Yeah, and it lets out this dying death rattle screech before falling with a heavy thunk. And its body begins like burning up in the moonbeam. As you'll return to silence once again. Indra's skin is starting to go, like you can see purple black veins kind of spreading up her neck. And I think we'll take a quick 5-minute break there if everyone's cool with that.
Okie dokie.
I'll be right back.
crossing shit off the list of stuff you asked for.
Woo! What was it?
That was a blue slide.
Ooh.
Hey. Gnarly.
Don't they like their disease infests you with their eggs or some stuff?
It is kind of like that, yeah. Not the blue one necessarily, though. So the red ones put eggs in you.
That's the one I'm
Blue
thinking.
ones like transform you into slads. So yeah, wait, can you cast third level spells yet, Indra?
Me? No.
Yeah, you would become a red slad. So you'd be putting eggs in people.
I come back to the sentence, red ones put eggs in you.
Mm.
They do. Just be careful of red ones.
Those damn red starburst.
Yeah, so you can just thank Dan for that whole encounter, because they were both things he asked for.
Yeah. I like
So, you know. Yeah, they're much gnarlier than I was expecting them to be. So that's not even the main encounter.
Well, I am only going to have like maybe 2 days of life left because I only have 11 hit points.
So it
did
could
you
be
roll the negative hit points?
No, because
so that
it damaged me and I cannot regain.
Sure. But you also have minus maximum health, right?
No,
yeah, but
mine
it'd
is
be every 24 hours. So.
Then you might have a certain companion who has a certain ability to help you.
So
Yeah.
it is just a disease, so
Yeah.
it's like it's not too onerous to cure.
Yeah. While infected, target cannot regain hit points, and I suppose it would be my hit point maximum, not my current hit points. So maybe a few extra days then. But
Just don't get into another fight.
yeah. Because even if I went unconscious, you wouldn't be able to wake me up. I would stay at 0.
I'll just throw rocks at you until you die.
If you want to be Remy, yeah, I guess you can.
Yes.
You can do that, Dan. You can. I guess that's what we're gonna be like.
Okay. I mean, I have a better solution.
Than
it
killing
just-
me off screen.
Yes. It's just going to cost me more spells at the beginning of the day.
No, no.
Oh no.
You're a land druid. We can take a nap.
Make yourself.
I mean, he's an old guy. He takes naps anyway. I imagine Og is going to take a nap anyway.
In the bed he's created for himself in the ground.
Indeed.
Chocolate and caramel.
Those things don't exist. They fell during the eclipse.
Man, that's what happened when I don't use my wooden dice. Jeez. Ooh.
Mine is strictly metal. Except when I attack C, I always use her own dice. Just
I have wooden dice, and one's normal, one has 2 20s, and one has 2 1s and no 20.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I would use those all the time. Just lie. Do we have everyone back?
Jade, you're back. No, maybe not.
The sound of Dan's whisper and dice makes it like one of those ASMR videos.
I'm picking out some dice to send to Andrew.
Oh boy.
Welcome to the dice rolling hour.
My dose crit half the time,
Let's see here. That was a 12.
already better than
That
I
was
rolled
a
that entire.
16.
I love the idea of like an ASMR video where it's just lots of rolls and it's just saying the numbers, and then it's like, God damn it, I got a 1.
That
Yeah,
is
he's like right in the middle, just stop screaming.
Yeah.
like there's a Wormwood video where they did exactly that. They did like an ASMR video. And there was like one girl who kept like rolling on like one of their trays and she just kept going, that's a 2. I'm gonna keep going until I get a 20.
Okay.
What?
That was the whole video.
Well, it wasn't just her, but they did like because there's one guy that was like, doing wood planing. So he was like sanding wood into the microphone, and then like another guy was like tapping leather into place on like one of the trays. Like they basically they did an ASMR video, and it was all like them doing bunches of random stuff around the shop and stuff. But yeah, this one girl, like that was her, or one person that was their contribution, was her just rolling. That's a 3.
These are my favorite dice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Doing-
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that was a weird experience.
What
So
the hell is going on?
anyway, so the 5 of you stand there, the corpses of the fallen creatures lying next to you. What would you like to do?
Indra starts coughing, and it sounds like slightly wet and like phlegmy. Like, what was that?
That was ugly.
Soul sort of hobbles up. Looks over the beast for a second. Is the regeneration, I imagine, is still sort of going, but it's sort of slowing down and revealing more of the stuff. And its claws are maybe dripping with something.
Yeah, it's more that it looks kind of rabid.
Mhm.
There's like a little bit of foam at the mouth. The claws are like the skin around them looks like red and inflamed.
He kind of like nudges it with his staff a little bit, like one of the claws. You did a good job, Ezra. Not seen a creature such as this in
Was,
my years.
Seemed to take a hit a little better than the last one.
What has the world done to you? And that is like faced at the beast. Like he's like looking into maybe one of its glassy eyes or something. And then he like follows the beast up towards Indra. Where is the slash or the gash on you that marked you? Indra.
I don't know. Where did it hit me?
That is up to you if you like.
Up to me? Okay. Then we shall say, like, across her stomach.
Okay. So he's kind of like staffing ground, like leaning forward because he's a little taller than you, and he's like, I saw you. I think it got a hit on you. There were a lot of you around.
Yeah, only 1 or 2 managed to really get through. But, I hit it more than it hit me.
You did. And are there like black veins on her stomach currently?
Yeah, so they're spreading from her stomach.
Looks like you have caught something.
No, I don't think so. And she, like, looks at her hands.
He does it ooze? Is that like a
Oh yeah,
blackness
there's
to
the
the
vile oozing. It's a vile disease.
wound? He he kind of like looks concerned. I imagine it looks bad, and
She has not noticed.
okay. Do you mind, perhaps, if we go back to the fire? I might have something for that. And he kind of like stands back to his full height, looking down at you, and maybe that is your first indication if you follow his line of sight.
Yeah, she like looks down and she goes, "Oh, jeez, what is that?"
I think I have something to help with that right now.
He like turns to you.
These do not look good. And she like pokes her belly and goes like
don't.
winces and then like pulls up a finger and like gives it like an ooh, it
Ooh.
stinks.
Yeah,
Don't fuss with it.
yeah, I stand back, and I'm like, if you have the gifts, Ezra, and he's like eager to, because I imagine a lot of your paladin work is obviously not done around him, so he is curious to see what you are capable of.
So I'm going to use the Lay on Hands feature, where I can spend 5 hit points of it to cure a target of one disease or neutralize a poison affecting it.
Absolutely, cure it. What does that look like?
I imagine I just kind of like try not to like poke at it, but I'm still kind of like trying to see exactly how.
The tickles.
Stop laughing.
I can't help but get tickles.
Well, hold still. And then like
Okay,
I
okay. And she like goes to hold her breath.
and Ezra kind of like will take a deep breath and just like kind of like green energy will kind of like move from her hands into the wound, and kind of like as it like hits that wound, like the black in the veins kind of like slowly kind of like begins to fade away.
You have the gifts, girl, and he like, dances from one foot to another, almost elated.
Yes, marvelous gifts.
The stars bless you.
Ezra will kind of blush and shuffle her feet. It was nothing really.
No, it was wonderful. Thank you. I feel so much better. And she like wraps her arms around Ezra's neck and like gives her like a big hug where she's like pressing her cheek against Ezra's.
Covering the front of Ezra in blood and bile from the wound.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
Yeah. Take a second, but Ezra will return the hug. Glad I could help.
Okay, now who is hungry? Shall we have breakfast?
You saying that, can I just look at the corpse of the creature we killed? Does it look edible?
I mean, it's got a horrifying, debilitating disease.
In its claws, but
I mean, if you want to
people eat blowfish, so
true.
pufferfish.
I had a
Poison,
friend.
not disease.
I had a friend once. Had curly blonde hair and a bushy blonde beard. Young lad. It's been a long time since I see him. He tried to eat one of these. He did. He died.
Your friend has seen one of these before. I suppose he sees little now.
Yes, not very much. Not very much. I haven't heard from him in a while.
He kind of like gives you like a slow nod, like.
I have many friends.
So,
can I just before we move away from the corpse, I just want to go to Og. You fought well, Bloodbear, and he like raps you on the chest with his staff.
Oh yeah, I did okay.
Don't be a fool, Ag. You missed every damn hit. You did better than that. You know better than that.
Yeah.
Could you take this? And he like gives you like some sort of leather wrappings or something. Could you, for an old elf, could you pull that claw from the beast? And he like wraps it with his staff. Og?
Andrew.
Are you muted? He's dead.
He's interrupted.
Well, I'll just say then, for the sake of it, absolutely. I believe it's
Sure.
athletics +6. I can roll
Something
for
like
it.
that. I gave him the leather
That's
wrapping to
from
protect his
my
hands.
die, so
Sweet. So he pulls a
Yeah.
large claw,
yeah, you can just pull the claw right off.
and the wrappings protect him from damage, hopefully. And I'm going to wrap it up and put it in a bag or something.
Absolutely.
Cool.
That claw is considered a dagger. If you want to stab someone with it.
Did you name the beast? I can name something.
Me?
Yeah, just if you gave it a beast that wasn't slurred in the setting. But
No,
I will find one
I have not.
later. Is it like an envenomed dagger of some kind?
It is a
Or
diseased dagger.
diseased dagger?
It's the Chaos Plague. Which is the name of
Chaos
the disease.
plague, you say?
Well, that's just the name of the disease that the Slad have. But it's unnamed disease.
Okay, I was gonna. Are we playing some sort of proto-lament? Or is this
Before the
apocalypse?
Galerian calendar.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you guys going to take a long rest, short rest?
I think a short rest, so Andrew could roll some hit dice or other people, and then we could carry on because we just woke up.
Yeah.
Short rest, please. I will make us breakfast. It will taste horrible, but she is going to make it.
Okay.
I am going to attempt to accompany it with a side salad that tastes a bit better. Side salad, yes.
All right. The Slad definitely has edible bits that you could eat if you wanted.
The tongue.
Absolutely. And so, after the rest, the five of you continue on, skirting Fogbank Lake, and moving on north towards your destination. Is there anything anyone would like to be doing or saying as they walk? No? Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well, the walk continues. Maybe there's some light conversation, but nothing of...
I think he will be talking. I just can't think of anything of consequence right now. So
I would offer a little bit of music, but yeah.
Definitely. And you see, as you sort of crest, or as you reach the end of Fogbank Lake, and you sort of manage to finally make it out of the mist, you're greeted by a much more horrible sight. The sky ahead of you is dark and roiling. This huge storm head like approaching. Black clouds that and like the rumble and flash of thunder and lightning, and it completely obscures the way forward. Anyone can make a nature check to identify the nature of the storm.
woo, nature.
Let's see. For Indra,
I could help.
that
Do
will be a 7 of -1 for 6. She barely sees the storm.
She is walking backwards.
Natural 20.
Oh, damn.
23. I only have a +3 to nature, though I'm enjoying it being used very often.
I got a 15.
Okay. So, Solanum. And maybe you've imparted some of this as stories to Ezra, which is why she rolled pretty well. This is a shade storm. It's something that you've definitely seen in the distance from the city, but it's a horrible relic of the eclipse. Essentially, it is kind of one of the harbingers and omen of the heralds of the eclipse. Just something that fills you with dread. And you know that this storm will be upon you in roughly 4 hours at the speed it appears to be traveling. And it's generally unknown how it's caused, though you do know that the rain is acidic enough to burn through metal and steel.
Shit.
But it doesn't seem to destroy the land, though it does kill crops eventually. But it tends to be fairly focused on what it targets, as though it has a mind of its own to some extent.
So we're right in the middle of wilderness.
So, yeah,
Forested wilderness?
ahead of you is this storm.
Yep.
To the east, you see that there's like a fairly large, thick forest, which you would remember maybe from back in the day was known as the Witchwood. Sort of this very like sacred, strange forest. And to the northwest, you see that there's like this kind of mountainous, rocky path leading up to a series of caves that look like a likely spot to stay out of the rain.
Okay, so within walking distance before the storm gets here.
Yeah, so they're both like half an hour away.
Okay. I am going to name the thing this, put it in the chat,
Oh, like
which is
that's like
Shade and Storm in Finnish.
Varjomir.
Varjomir, or Varjomir, I guess. Also, because Toad was a few things, I'm just going to call the Slod thing. He's going to name it that. Corner.
Corner. I like it.
So I think they're walking, and he's like being observant, like he normally is, and he stops for a moment next to Ezra, and he points his staff up towards the sky, like as an extension of his arm. Look there, granddaughter. Do you see what that is?
In the common tongue, it's a shade storm.
The Varjomir. The Shade Storm. And he says that like pronouncing it kind of loud to the group. It'll, I don't know if it will, but I'm just going to say it'll strip the flesh from bone. It'll melt that armor right off one who wears it. We need shelter. It comes within a few hours.
Is there no way around it?
He scans the horizon.
Yeah, it's pretty much ahead of you. It's horizon to horizon, pretty much. Though they usually don't last more than a day or two. High intensity.
He scans the horizon and he sees the rocky outcroppings and the crags and stuff that you spoke of, and he's like, and also the forest. I think we have two choices. The Witchwood, and he points like down towards the probably awfully gloomy looking trees or something, or the crags over there.
Don't they tell us that we should not stand near trees during storms? There is lightning.
You may have our answer. I think he pauses for a moment. He's gonna like. I don't know how lightning-filled this storm is. If it was more acid rain.
There's definitely lightning
Okay, cool. We have
to
our
some
answer.
degree. At least. All right.
To the cracks.
Yes, I've heard of these things before. Indra, you remember that short dwarf fellow? What did they call him? He was the one who always chased the donkeys around the ring. Hacksaw Jimmy, I think it was. Yes. Hacksaw Jimmy. You know, he had a nephew that was caught in one of these. It was this short dwarf fella. Curly blonde hair and a bushy blonde beard. He died too. We should go to the
it
crags.
was very sad.
Yes. He was funny though. With his little legs running around. Always kicking the donkeys.
And so you climb the way to the crags, and imagine Solanum like begins to flag on the uneven ground and the steep climb, but you finally make it up the hill and into the cave. They're fairly tight, kind of small and musty, but like comfortable enough. And you see the rain beginning to splash outside, and it's this sort of horrible brackish blue color. Smells foul. You see there's a kind of pile of like rotting fish sitting just outside the cave, and you see the rain just burn and hiss, dissolving it, and until the fish is nothing but a foul-smelling slurry. Behind you, though, the cave continues back further than it should, and you see this sort of to the far end. There's these little glowing rocks that sit in the wall, like little pieces of the sun embedded in the wall, and they sort of follow this kind of very slight incline towards the back of the cave.
What is back here?
I don't know. Many creatures may call this home. And I'm going to walk up and tap one of the rocks.
Yeah, and you see it's just looks sort of it's not a gem. It looks like a solid opaque piece of rock, but it just has this faint kind of golden glow to it.
Okay, like a vein through the rock, or is it like a separate object that could be picked
both,
out?
to be honest. You see
Okay.
some vein, but also like a couple more solid rocks.
Andrew, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. First, have you rolled for hit points to heal? We rested for you, by the way. And secondly, an old elf is going to ask you to. You pulled a claw out of that crazy beast for this elf, by the way.
Of course.
Og,
Yes.
could you claim one of these glowing rocks for this old elf?
I don't see why not.
All right, make me an athletics check. Oh,
22.
yeah, and you kind of use a dagger or something to pry it out, and it just pops right out. It's about fist sized, faintly glowing.
It wouldn't happen to nestle perfectly into the end of this staff that I'm carrying in a
No,
slightly
you
casual
can.
fashion.
Yeah, you can definitely stick it in the top of your staff and kind of make it stay nice and securely.
Excellent.
No, it's not. Your staff wasn't made for it, but it sits comfortably enough, and you can get it kind of embedded enough to where you think you could probably hit someone with the staff and it wouldn't fall out.
I would like druid craft,
Yeah.
perhaps a little nest of secure
Imagine you
vines
like
or
make
something.
the dead wood sort of grow inwards a little bit. I like it.
So, Indra, would you like to see? And he like
Yes, I would.
beckons out with his staff. can go wandering if you want. Other people are welcome. I'm
Oh.
sure.
She kind of like glances back towards like the entrance of the cave and kind of gives like a furtive glance to like the tunnel that leads further on. It's like, well, I think I'll be okay here. I can keep watch. She says like kind of nervously, but she still has like that huge smile on her face.
Are there any other signs of habitation? I know there was the fish at the front of the cave, but are there any like broken bones or?
Yeah, you see like occasional bones scattered around and that sort of thing, but nothing recent. This has definitely been used by other creatures at some point in its life, but nothing recently.
Grandfather, you wish to go exploring?
If we are going to call this home for a little while, it might be good to know who we share it with. And
I will
besides,
keep watch over here. She calls like over your guys' shoulders.
come now, Indra, you were so curious a moment ago.
That was until I saw how dark it is.
He like holds the staff into the darkness and banishes a little.
It is still very dark. I do not see very good in the dark.
Well, he kind of like shrugs. I guess
I will be
curiosity
right
is an old
here.
elf's game.
I will be right here if you need me. I'm going to make sure that nothing else comes to take our shelter from the storm.
I don't think anything's getting to us in this storm.
You never know. I am going to keep watch.
Perhaps a little work then. Ezra,
All right.
okay, are you coming? Not afraid of a little dark, are you?
Who was he asking there?
Og.
Oh,
Oh yes, of course.
Well,
So I think, is that everyone but Indra?
I didn't ask Lucius, but he
Oh,
can
yeah.
chime in if he wishes.
Yeah, Lucius would look between the two. I'll keep Indra company. She likes my jokes.
I do. They are very funny.
Yes. I told Ark that once too.
Yes.
And so you begin making your way down the incline, and it sort of turns into a bit of a tunnel, heading a very steep direction downwards, and kind of lit by these glowing rocks that almost beckon you deeper and deeper. Finally, it begins to level out, and you exit the tunnel in what appears to be a gigantic subterranean forest. The caves are a mass of roots and weird kind of luminescent moss, and it's very humid in here, very cloying, but it looks like you're in this kind of magical wood at nighttime. And you can see that the caves are further than your eyes can see for the most part, fading to darkness. The stone walls, what little you can see of them, are this bluish gray. And ahead of you, you see like random kind of protruding rock formations. What intrigues you, though, Saul, is that ahead of you, you see something very, very bright, reflecting the light kind of in your direction. and you think it must be some kind of piece of glass or metal or something embedded into the far side of the rock, but you find it very hard to tell at this distance. But you reckon it might take you hours to get over that way.
Good grief. Okay.
It is huge.
This is fascinating. And he's like inspecting the trees and the moss and sort of
You can
brushing his hand through it. And
make me an intelligence check quickly, please.
absolutely, that is 14.
You get the impression you've entered some section of the Sunless Realm, the land beneath the land,
Okay.
that part of which the dwarven undercity of Hearth extends below, such that you think you've probably entered this world's equivalent of the Underdark.
Okay. So it is Hearth, then under Hearth, and then the below.
So it is Hearth and Under Hearth is in the Underdark.
Right. Okay. It's in the thing. Okay.
So you reckon, if you headed the right direction, took the right cave doors, like cave entrances, you could make it back all the way under here. And in fact, you could push on in the direction you were going and find a way out further on beyond the storm.
Interesting. Okay, so as he like brushes his hand through some of the luminescent moss or something, he, still looking at the moss, is going to speak to the two of them that are there. We stand within the realms of the dwarves, the Underhearth, as they may call it. There are tunnels that lead in all directions, and he kind of spins the staff slightly. This is fascinating.
This is magnificent.
He like lifts his staff to like illuminate more of it. It very much is. If I remember correctly, a lot of this, well, the reason that the dwarves live below the ground and these plants have thrived is they were protected from the rains above and the night. They were already used to the night. And he like is taking some steps into the place, weaving between some of the trees and moss and the like. And then I think like the light hits off that thing maybe in the distance that you say that. Do you see that? Something glimmers.
Should we
Wait.
try to go to it?
It is quite a distance. And he like is moving back to the other two and like squinting. I think that could even be a few hours. Do you think our friends would miss us?
I mean, how often do you get to explore something like this?
You make a good point. What say you, Bloodbear? Your people, you came from beyond the walls of Hearth. You came from the wilds like this. Do you wish to see it? Like not many in your generation have?
Yes, okay. Might give me something to write about. Yes, I'll accompany you.
I guess we go. And if we are lucky, we might find that this place is connected.
Okay. And as you begin to head off, You feel the forest kind of shifting around you. It's definitely alive, and you get the sneaking, fairly terrifying suspicion that it knows you're there.
Okay.
You find yourselves moving towards this piece of glass, and yeah, it does take you about 3 or 4 hours to get there. In the meantime, what are Indra and Lucius doing?
Lucius looks over at you, Indra. You know, Indra, you always so happy. Your sense of naivety, it's infectious. Can't help but, make us smile. But the old man, the one-armed fellow there, he offered to have us go, and I saw the way you looked into the darkness. I saw perhaps it was fear, perhaps it was worry. You're not one to be afraid of the dark. No. I know that. But what is it you're afraid of, my dear? Are you worried about something there? You have to face your fears at some point.
No, I am not afraid of the dark. You are right. And it is good that I make you smile. That is what I want to do. But she kind of like looks at the tunnel again. I do not wish to go where I cannot see the sky.
Understandable.
Even if it looks as angry as it does right now.
Perhaps that in that itself is a sign. Perhaps it is telling you to discover something more, to delve deeper, both into the earth and into yourself. Perhaps the storm is a metaphor for perhaps something to search for or answers.
Do you really think so?
Hell, I don't know. I'm just trying to strike up conversation.
Do you want to go after the others, Lucius?
Well, this would be a good time to have that little donkey chasing fellow there. What's his name? Hacksaw Jimmy. He could have done his dwarven thing here and dwarfed us through these tunnels. I'm not good with the tunnels either, but I think between the two of us, we can either stand here and watch the rain and the melancholy and hope the others return, or we can delve deeper.
No, but we are supposed to be doing something here, yes, with them. We should make sure that they are okay, I suppose.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I mean, I don't know.
I do not see well down there, though.
Okay, yeah, I have that question.
Indra is the only one who does not see in the dark.
I had a light on my
I
staff.
know you did.
You can see in the darkness.
It's also hella bright down there. Not that she knows that, but
Exactly. There's no more shiny stones or nothing about, is there?
yeah, there's loads.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could do as the one-armed feller did and strike up a few stones on a stick and wave it around. We could start a fire too, and perhaps some torches.
Oh, I do have torches, and she like opens up like the backpack that she hardly ever like messes with. See? Do you know how to light them?
Well, with flint and stone, if I carried such a thing on me.
She looks through her backpack some more. Do I have flint?
Do you have flint?
Let me see. Oh, I have it. She pulls out like a small little metal box. She's like, is this this isn't flint. But it's like the only thing that she has. There's a crowbar. She pulls out like a crowbar, tosses it aside, pulls out a hammer, tosses it aside, like takes out a handful of pitons that she just kind of drops to the ground and like unrolls all the torches, then like the rations and the water skin and like then like the small little metal box. And she's just all like, I don't have flint.
Hey, let me take a look. He'll dig through his, setting aside his
It's totally
pipes.
the tender box. She just doesn't know what's inside it.
Look through mine. I have nothing but musical instruments and spare strings and such things. And I got the makeup kit. Look, what about your makeup kit? Perhaps we can combine makeup kits.
Oh, okay. And she opens up the little box and like, oh, here's the flint. And she like pulls out the little flint thing and like the little stone, and she like does like the little thing. I was like, oh, I should put everything back in the backpack first. And she like starts like gathering up all of the things that she's strewn about. We do not go outside the city much, eh?
This reminds me of a time. I have a story for this. You see, I have this friend. Was taller lady, wears a lot of armor. I think you met her. She travels around with the one-armed fella. Me and her once, we went fishing. Let me tell you, we were professionals. This reminds me of this. I'm a professional flint striker. Let me have a hand at that.
She'll hand over the flint.
And I rub it together really fast a few times. I rolled a 3 for my survival, so
I think enough effort, you can probably still light the torches.
It takes me a very long time.
Yeah, but
This is all part of the technique.
you know, you got to still light fires in the city. So
Part of the technique. You have to warm up the flint first. You gotta get it nice and hot, and then you gotta strike it quick.
Indra and Lucius were the types that would always like be like suddenly busy whenever the tents and the fire pits had to go up. So we've never had to do this on our own.
We had to steal
before.
everybody else's fire.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go, do his rat
retying
song.
knots on the tent, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, look at this. I'm just, oh, what? No, I heard the ringmaster calling, and she'll just get up and run.
But yeah, you can light your torches and follow your friends down. And I imagine with Sol's kind of reduced pace, you might be able to eventually catch up before you arrive. And you find when the group of you come together, you see like a few little patches of fungi that are brighter than the others. And when you like step into the sort of radius of the light, you feel like this warmth kind of crawl up your body, and you feel like you're standing in the sun rather than in a cave. It feels like a very hot day as you get close to these.
Stop breathing on me.
That isn't me.
Oh, must be Og. He's breathing heavily on me. I can feel it, making me sweat.
And as you continue on, you eventually reach this object that you find kind of half buried in the side of a tree. And you pull it out, and it's around the size of a dinner plate. It's made of metal and glass, and it's this round sort of metal piece with then two sort of a ring in the middle, which has like a metal outline, and then a glass bit on the inside, and the glass is sort of turquoise. And then an even smaller circle in the center, ringed by metal, glass in the middle. And you can see that each of these rings kind of can spin on its own axis, so it moves sort of like a Harry Potter time turner. This thing has these two kind of protruding sections on each side, as though it's designed to be mounted somewhere.
first of all, at some point, Sol would be glad that you had joined them both. Maybe even if it was just a smile and he doesn't really mention it.
It was
beyond
getting very boring back then.
that. Once you have seen some rain, you have seen it all.
Yes.
What do you make of this? Has your blonde bearded friend come across such an artifact?
Well, I'm sure he did. But well, he's dead now.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, thank you. Yes. It was quite a sad moment, I have to tell you about this sometime. Now, though, we can check this over first. Tonight, perhaps. Tonight, I'll sing a song and tell you a story about him.
Of course.
How big are the rings in the tree?
So it's not in the it
Not
was
in
just
the tree?
partially embedded. Like you can lift it up. So it's the full thing is the size of a dinner plate ish. Like maybe a foot across.
Mm-hmm.
Foot and a half. But the inner ring is maybe a few inches less in radius, and then same again for the small circle in the middle.
And it's hanging from the tree or part of the tree?
Yeah, it was just sort of left up, kind of embedded partially in it, as though it was left and the tree kind of moved around it.
Gotcha.
It's quite easy to just lift up and take off.
So it's like one of those kind of like vomit comet-esque, has multiple different segments that all
It'll spin on their own axis.
spin on different axes. Yes, excellent. Right, cool. I know where you are. This isn't like a holy symbol of any constellation or anything, or
You can make me a religion check.
Cool. That will be an absolute failure on that part.
I got
It's
a
like a
19.
3.
Okay, I got a 19. Let me think. I might have heard a story about this. I got a 19 for my religion.
Yeah, so you remember a story told of days before the eclipse. There was a group of people known as the Solarian monks, and they lived in this sort of gigantic tower of glass that was a beacon of light. You can't really remember much more than that, but they were gone. The tower fell into disrepair and was destroyed. But this is giving you absolute vibes of that story.
Yes. I do remember just a tad bit of fun here. My one-armed friend. Something about these silver monkeys or Solarian monks. They lived in the building and something. I don't really remember a whole lot, but yes. I think they died.
Do you want me to keep it down? Sorry.
I'd please be careful with it. He kind of like scratches his head a little bit, or like kind of rubs his temple. The Solarian, and what were the monks devoted to? What did they do in their temple?
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
I mean, you mentioned something that he didn't say, which is I was kind of prodding at.
Okay.
Is that the whole Tower of Light part of it?
Yes, the beacon of light, I believe it was. They called it this glass tower place or some such thing. It was a very boring story, so I really didn't, keep very much in my head.
As he's saying this, so you're definitely it's definitely ringing a bell.
I mean, he's in his vision. He saw a light that banished the darkness, which I am. He's maybe going to put two and two together.
Before the sun, did its thing, and people were happy and merry and danced and such.
His eyes kind of like from squinting start to widen a little. You say they worship the light, that they created it or danced in it. And he kind of like looks to the side, looks up to Indra, perhaps like climbing the tree. I saw a source of light, and it banished the coming darkness. Do you think this could be the key? And he's like musing to himself mostly, but out loud next to you.
Well, if so, there must be a door then, right?
Indra is climbing up the tree for the rings.
We just have to find the door.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, I was about to ask about that.
Yeah.
What rings?
Well, they said there's a thing in the tree. She's going to climb up for it.
Yeah, the thing that they're holding and looking at.
They're not holding it.
I mean,
she
I
offered
said it was like pretty easy to get it. You can just have it.
Okay, then
Okay.
she's going to get it up.
Get down from the tree. You already got it.
Sorry, I'd assumed you already had it. That's fine.
There was a bit of okay. Did
Seemed
you
like
find any others up in the tree?
Did I find anything else in the tree?
There's nothing else in the tree.
Are you sure? I didn't even roll.
Make a roll.
Investigation?
Sure.
9.
There's nothing else in the tree.
I wouldn't even better tell you the results.
I don't think there's anything else up here.
I think you missed that branch over there, Indra.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you sure? Check again.
I'm going to go over to the other branch that Lucius is pointing out. That one is a 0.
Strangely enough, you find nothing in the tree.
No, there's nothing over here. Do you want me to go higher?
Yeah.
Let's going to climb up higher.
Okay. No matter how high you climb,
Natural 20.
there's nothing in the tree.
She gets all
Are
the
you
way
now satisfied that the
She's
tree is sufficiently empty?
She's like hanging out on the top of boughs. She's like kicking her feet, like watching the others.
So the item that we picked up did it look like it was delicately placed, or that it was just cast down, or was it partially stuck in the tree?
So
Or
it definitely looked haphazard.
Okay.
It was definitely like it was stuck in the tree. You think this tree has probably been here for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And this item has been here for a very long time as well, but not quite as long. How it would have got here, though, you're unsure. But it was sort of embedded in the tree, sort of in between the branches.
I do not profess to be an expert in all of the many things that people worshipped hundreds of years ago, but I find it odd that those who would worship the light would leave such an object in darkness.
Maybe
You're
they
not-
didn't mean to. Maybe they didn't mean to. Indra says, as she's like slowly climbing down.
Maybe they passed through here. Maybe they maybe they moved for the dwarves, or maybe they knew these passages themselves and fled from the night.
Perhaps they were leaving to take it outside.
Could you? It's like dinner plate size, but with different segments, right?
Yeah.
Move with some ease.
Yeah.
Or
So, like, if you poke them, they kind of
Okay.
spin.
could you hold it up and see it opened? And I kind of like step back.
And so as you kind of turn it and twist it, like it reflects and refracts the light in sort of varying ways, kind of like a sort of disco ball, where there's different beams of light that kind of shoot off in different directions, though very faint.
Okay. Are they writing or symbolism or iconography?
Nothing you
Or...
can see. It's fairly plain. You think it's more like a fixture that might need the context of the place it
Okay.
was
Okay.
set in.
Do I have any kind of idea about the direction, or does anyone have any idea about the direction? We haven't seen any passageways off into different
Yeah.
angles, or
So you've sort of moved. You're closer to the far end now. You can
Yeah.
see the wall. There's trees all across it, but you do see there's a few sort of pathways leading out.
Okay.
And it's that northerly direction that you were heading before.
Okay. While the storm rages above us, we may be able to pass underneath it if we keep going our intended direction. And he kind of like looks out into the darkness and waves his staff of light. If we find a tunnel, we may find our way.
See? A way out of a way around the storm. That's exactly what we found. Not sea as in sea.
Yes.
So,
We're gonna need a new nickname.
Excellent. Are we unanimous? We walk this path together. When we cannot walk above, let's walk below. I shall take that as a yes.
Sounds good to me.
Excellent. Were there any fruits upon these trees or anything while we passed?
They're quite
No?
barren for the most part.
Indra, do you see any fruits in the tree?
Oh,
no, there is
no.
nothing in the tree.
Well, you didn't even make a roll. There's nothing in the
Okay,
tree. Most of these are barren.
9.
There's nothing in the tree.
Is this tree particularly special in any kind of way, or is it bigger? No.
It doesn't
Right,
even have
okay.
leaves.
Okay.
It is more an apparatus for moss to grow up. Like,
My friend, I saw. How does a tree grow in the darkness down here like this? Is it lichen? What they call it? A fungi?
He kind of like stands and thinks for a minute. So I thought they were like alive. If they're dead,
so they,
um,
it is strange and hard to tell. They are clearly adapted to living in a place devoid of sunlight. So they are more fungal, but they still look like trees.
you say
To your
adapted. Okay. So Saul kind of like thinks about that for a moment and goes, though they now grow in the dark, they look like those that grow above. And he kind of like holds the staff as high as he can, which is probably not anywhere near high enough. I wonder if they were not always below the earth.
That was my thought.
And perhaps these worshippers of the sun were not either. And he kind of like looks maybe towards their destination, the like northerly destination. The land did change. And then quietly he will say, it rised and the world rised with it.
And you continue on for a little ways more before something gives you pause. You find yourself in a sort of slightly enclosed area, almost like a clearing, with thick vegetation either side. You see ahead of you are 5 small patches of these warming mushrooms, kind of arranged vaguely in the shape of the 5th face on a 6-sided die. But you see that this room, for it sort of is a room with the way the trees are, is surrounded and covered in a thick fog. You can't really see the ceiling. And while you can see shapes and lights through the fog, it does make seeing things a little difficult. Though curiously, the fog doesn't seem to come within the 5-foot radius of any of the mushrooms. The mushrooms give off this kind of turquoise, unearthly glow. And it's the same ones you've been seeing all over the place. Yet, this fog interaction is new. Looking up, you can see that the ceiling is almost entirely obscured by the same fog, sticking to it in this very specific area. And then you see something move in the fog above you. And coming into view, lowering itself down, is a gigantic spider. Its body colored like alabaster, though its head is orange, and its legs are spiked and end in this sort of rust color. I'm just going to quickly change my overlay so you can see the creature that crawls down towards you. This, though none of you would know her name, is Mother Tarantula, the Queen of the Underlone. And that's where we're going to end the session today.